Good morning, class. Today we are going to read our second chapter, that is the sound of music. Here in this chapter there are two parts. So today we are going to see the first part, that is Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. So firstly I will give you introduction of the chapter. Now, let us discuss the title first. The title itself is a very interesting. Here, the author says Evelyn Glennie listens to the sound without hearing it. Now, we all wonder, we are confused. How can you listen to sound when you can't hear? So, this is something we will discover. How Evelyn Glennie was able to listen to sound although she could not hear. So here, God may have taken her hearing, but He has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So here, like someone has commented this about Evelyn. He says that although God took away her hearing power, she was impaired, but He gave her an extraordinary thing, and that was the sense of feeling. She could feel very deeply, far more deeply than the normal people, and that is why she was able to express music so beautifully, so well. She is a well-known she is a well-known multi-percussionist. She plays different percussion instruments like xylophone, drums. Okay, now here it is mentioned, read the following account of a person who fought against a physical disability and made her life a success story. So here we can say, from here we come to know the theme of the story and the message we get from the story. The story of Evelyn is a motivational story. It inspires all of us to overcome our physical disabilities and achieve our dreams and goals just like Evelyn did. Now here we'll see the first paragraph. Rush hour, crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl looking younger than her 17 years was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. Hear the word jostle. It means push roughly. Slight means small and thin. So it is a scene of the train. The scene is of the train platform. So now you start your imagination. So the scene of the train platform, it is underground and there is a huge rush at the platform. People are pushing each other to get away. There's a small thin girl. It is Evelyn. Evelyn is standing at the railway platform waiting for the train, and just as she feels the vibrations of the approaching train, she realizes that the train is about to come. She gets nervous and excited. This is the train that will take Evelyn to London. She is going to London to learn music, as she has got admission in the Royal Academy of Music. Right now, Evelyn is in Scotland. Evelyn belongs to Scotland. Scotland is a country in Europe. So, life in Scotland is not as fast as in London. So, London has a very fast life. It is urban, whereas Scotland has farms and countrysides. So that is why Evelyn is nervous, because she is leaving Scotland for London. And she is excited also, because she is doing something that she always dreamt of. She is going to the Royal Academy of Music to learn music. And next, it was here written over here. Okay. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. Here, daunting means frightening and scary. Teenager, a person who is in his teens. So, Evelyn is 17 years of age. So, remember the age? She is of 17 years. She is a teenager and she is fresh from a Scottish farm. As Evelyn is from Scotland, which has more of farms and countryside, so she has not seen fast life. That is why she is nervous, and the writer says that she is fresh from a Scottish farm. In another line, but this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Now here, aspiring musician means a person who wants to be a musician. Profoundly deaf, it means absolutely deaf. So Evelyn could not hear. Deaf means who is not able to hear. So Evelyn could not hear, and this was a bigger challenge for her. Moving from a rural area to a fast life was a smaller challenge. Evelyn faced a much bigger challenge, that was her inability to hear. Now here, Evelyn Glennie loss of hearing had been gradual. So that means slowly she started losing the power of hearing, and one day she was absolutely deaf. Now here we can see in second paragraph, her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, say, Isabel Glennie. So it means Isabel Glennie is the name of Evelyn's mother. Evelyn's mother, Isabel, recollects one incident when Evelyn was 8 years old. So she says that Evelyn was waiting for her turn to play the piano, but When her name was called out, she did not respond. And her mother realized that Evelyn did not respond to her name. That means she did not hear her name being called out. Now here, for quite a while, Evelyn managed to counsel her growing deafness from friends and teachers. So conceal means to hide. Now here, as Evelyn lost her sense of hearing in phase, it was a gradual process. In the beginning, when she could hear partially, she managed to hide this disability from her friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated, and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. So here a specialist, a doctor, specializing in a particular part of the body. So here urged, requested. So when Evelyn was 11 years old, her marks has started deteriorating. The headmistress requested her parents to take Evelyn to the doctor. So here, it was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. So here, when the doctor checked upon Evelyn, he found out that Evelyn had lost the sense of hearing. The doctor advised Evelyn's parents that they should get hearing aids for her. Hearing aids, you can say, is an equipment that is fitted into ear, and it helps a person to hear to some extent. So he also suggested that Evelyn should be sent to a school for the deaf children. When Evelyn discovered that she could not hear and that she would be sent to a school for deaf children, that she was not as good as normal children, her world became colorless. It turned black. Now, what does this mean? Everything suddenly looked black. It means that all of a sudden you get such bad news. You get some news that you don't expect. And in return, you see blackness all around you. That is how Evelyn responded to this news. So we'll continue this chapter in our next video.